Fine. Audio's recording.
Magic's recording.
I feel like I should say something as well now.
Yeah. Right. Don't tell anyone that you measured anything out from
No, I won't. I've learned it for myself anyway, so this makes it easier.
All right, I'm here with Ryan from Borough 22, and he's going to show me how to make some donuts while I pick his knowledge and try and pick up some tips and see how he's managed to have all the success that he's had so far.
So, obviously they're vegan donuts, gluten-free donuts, but the whole thing is really that they're accessible for everyone. So everyone seems to enjoy them. So we'll get started. We're just going to put it in just a rounded spoon. We'll do that twice for our baking powder. There you go.
So tell me about how you come up with the name Borough 22.
Borough 22. So a lot of people get that confused, and they think we're in Borough Market. Yeah. So I used to get, not so much now. I used to get a lot of people saying, I went to Borough Market to find the donuts. I couldn't find you anywhere. And I'm like, I'm not in Borough Market. Okay, the name actually comes from, it was thought up when we were on a trip, my wife and I, Malika, the London mother. We were on a trip in New York. And New York's famous for its 5 boroughs. You got Brooklyn, Manhattan, Bronx, Queens, and I always forget the last one. Yeah, famous for the 5 boroughs in New York. And we're trying to come up with a name. And I just thought, well, we've got boroughs here. Like, how many boroughs are there in London? So I went on Wikipedia. And there's actually 32 boroughs in London. And Greenwich, the Royal Borough of Greenwich, where we're based, is the 22nd borough in London. So I just thought, all right, Borough 22, it's got a nice ring to it. And I just made that as the name. Just so, like, their thinking was like there'd be a Borough 1 and a shop in every borough in London. But yeah.
This thing, when you're starting a business, it's always with those big plans.
Yeah, massive plans.
Gonna have 32 shops, and
exactly.
then you start out and you're like, wow.
Yeah. It's like, wow, okay, let's backtrack. I'm just gonna get the sugar. So yeah, it was that and business cards that sort of happened first of all.
Okay.
Designed the logo and then ordered loads of business cards, which I still got most of them. Yeah. People don't use business cards these days, really.
That's the same, man. I think I ordered maybe 1,000 business cards.
So, yeah. I think there's something about having business cards that makes you feel like you're official now. People got me a way to contact me.
And the worst thing is when you meet someone, they go, have you got business cards?
Yeah.
And they ain't got it on you.
Exactly. I've got 500 at home, but none on me right now.
So how long have you been doing it?
So this next month, the end of this month will be 7 years. Can you believe that? 7 years.
How long before you actually started seeing like real progress when you're like, oh, cool, this is...
Yeah, it was quite quick, I'd say. Like, I remember having a conversation with my mother-in-law, and so I started in October 2014, and this was February 2015, having a conversation. She's like, how's it going, Ryan? I'm like, oh, well, I haven't had any orders this month. And she was dying. Like, the laughter, it was, when it's silent, like you're laughing, it's silent coming out. This is like a older generation woman. She was dying. I started laughing as well. And I was like, it's a slow start. But then actually the next month, Selfridges got in contact. It's kind of a weird one. So someone mentioned me on their Instagram page. We're always looking for new suppliers. I was like, yeah, we'll get in contact then. We can make this happen. And it was from there. So that was in March. And then by August, I finally got myself together, jumped through all the hoops, and was in their store, delivered my first order, bank holiday weekend. So it would have been last week. Yeah, it was very quick. And I think it's more a case of being like the right place at the right time.
How long did it take you past that before your next big sort of move?
Well, it's kind of, it was sort of month to month really. Then once I was in Selfridges, I think later that year, maybe October, started getting interest from a couple of shops. And it was just through social media really, just people noticing us, putting myself out there. We did like a couple of donut runs. We did one to Bristol, which was the one that everyone remembers. It was a long old day. I took my daughter, but we like dropped off along that M4 going up to Bristol and then came back home. It's just mad to coordinate that. It's just mad, in over my head. But I'll never forget that. And it was good. People like recognised us from that.
So that come out on a social campaign sort of thing?
Yeah, so we did that on Facebook, reached out to people on Facebook. Because there was no one really doing gluten-free vegan donuts at the time. So that was our niche in the market. And donuts, like cupcakes, maybe sort of 5-6 years before that, there was like a boom around donuts at the time. There still is, to be fair, because they're just such a great vehicle. As long as you get the base right, you can put loads of toppings on it, make them sort of really exciting for people to want to try. So we did that. And I guess maybe just before I got made redundant. So we started October 2014. I got made redundant from my last job in February 2017. And it was sort of that month, maybe a couple months before that, I was in contact with a company called Timber Yard Coffee. They were big. They'd won like Coffee Shop of the Year in the European Awards twice. And they wanted me to go into their shop or their store in Box Park in Shoreditch. Okay. And it wasn't a case of, we'll have you and some other products. No, we just want your products and our coffee. You take what you earn from your donuts, we'll take what we earn from our coffee. We'll do a few collaborations, coffee and donuts, which will split, but we want to back you. Like we love your stuff. I was like, wow. And then it just so happens I got made redundant that month. So it was like the first month, March, April, I think we were ready to go. That was it. That was in a shop, like a physical shop in central London. So it's mad. So I think then really I thought, right, okay. Because it was make or break time. Do I go and work for someone else and do what I know? Or do I take a leap of faith and see how far I can push this?
Was you sort of nervous? Or?
Yeah, absolutely.
What was going through your mind?
Yeah, going through your mind is all right, you're used to getting a salary. I was on a good wage, used to getting a good salary every month. It's like, I've got to recreate that. And then in reality, you don't. You don't need to recreate that because you don't need much to live on. Once you sort out the bills, mortgages, the actual bills and stuff, you don't need as much as you were earning. And that's what you don't realize because you can scale back. There's stuff that you are buying for the business when you're earning as well. Well, actually, now that's a business expense because the business is a person. Now, the way we set up the company is that the business is a person. So
it's that scaling back that's you got to get used to.
Yeah, it is.
You don't realize how much you actually spend on just things you don't
irrelevant
really
stuff
need.
You don't need, exactly. So it was scary, and it was that first year you ended up being in a situation where you find yourself saying yes to everyone. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll do that. Oh, can you sponsor our event for donuts? Yeah, sure. So I'm not actually getting paid for that, but I'm thinking, the media coverage or the social media coverage off the back of that is going to really boost sales. In reality, it rarely does, unless it's someone like huge or you're on TV or something like that. But
so what started made you think like, I've got to start saying no to certain things?
I think it's when it's like 2 a.m. and you were up at 4 a.m. the day before, and everyone's in bed just sleeping. The house is quiet, you're downstairs by yourself, your legs are hurting, and you just think like, well, why am I doing this? Yeah. It's almost a case like, you get yourself in situations that you don't want to be in, and then you recoil from that. Yeah. It's just like, right, I do not want to be in that situation again. Actually, I'm going to say no.
And you learn to recognize it when those situations come up. You're like,
okay, let's push now. Yeah. And just being prepared for that, getting everything prepped, and just stretching that process out rather than waiting to the day and it's just manic, like Macaulay Culkin running around the house.
So if going back to like the beginning, when you actually decide, I'm going to make donuts. Yeah. Perfecting your donut to where it is now. What was that? Was that just like?
Just trial and error. So obviously it's gluten-free and vegan. Making it vegan wasn't too difficult, I would say. So taking like the dairy element out, so no butter, no eggs as well. It's quite easy to swap those things out in what we do. But the gluten-free element, that was the tricky bit. Because you think maybe, okay, this calls for flour, normal recipe calls for flour, I'll just use gluten-free flour. And this doesn't work like that. Because there's chemicals, additives like xanthan gum, psyllium husk, chia seeds, flaxseed that you put in to replicate the gluten, represent that sort of glue that holds everything together and gives it that stretch, which is a lot more difficult when you're doing gluten-free. So a lot of the early ones came out, they were like biscuits, nothing like donuts, or just didn't rise or just ran and just came out like pancakes. So a lot of back and forth, a bit.
How long were you doing that?
I reckon about 6 months.
6 months?
Yeah, it's not too bad, but it wasn't like solid, right, every day or every night. It was just like you do one, flops and you're just like, right, bun this. I'm not doing it anymore. But then it's like, okay, maybe a week later, 2 weeks later, right, let's have another go. Let's tweak it and see.
So did you make donuts first? Like you could already make donuts and you're like, I should do this as a business, or in your head it's like, I want to do this as a business, therefore I need.
It was always the first.
Yeah.
So I'm just making this for my family. Like they have a need. Like we go out and they can't have anything, and it's like you feel for the kids, you know. You see other kids having like these other donuts or other cakes and stuff, and your kids eating a banana, and it's just
that's where the concept of
comes from.
That's
it. It was never a plan to sell it. You know, I was in that job, was comfortable, been there like 12 years. My wife was working for herself. She'd gone part-time maybe a couple of years before that. And it was really her that sort of gave me the push. She's like, no, you can do this. It's like, we're fine. You can do this. So if I didn't have that little voice, a little push, maybe I'd still be in that situation. I don't know. But never wanted to put myself out there. Because you're putting yourself out there to be judged by other people, right? And that's something that's difficult as well. But yeah, I was very reluctant to do that. But there was nothing out there at the time. Everyone that had it said it was how amazing it was. I thought, let's just see. The worst thing that can happen is it flops, and then I go back and do sort of what I was doing before. But then at least I would have known that I'd given it my best shot. Okay. Yeah. Just scoop it a little bit out. You can scoop a little bit out the top. I don't want you to have floppy donuts.
Have you got TikTok?
I have got TikTok. I've got one video on there, which I've probably done about 6 months ago.
Always so nervous when we launch a new flavour in Selfridges. But this donut has flown off the shelf, our red velvet. So much so that Selfridges have placed the biggest order we've ever had for a single donut. So thanks to everyone who's bought it.
How much time do you spend on TikTok?
If I go into it, and I very rarely do, I'm like, it's like a rabbit hole. I'm just gone. I'm like, oh wow, and you just keep scrolling. The next one is good, and it's like, what's going to happen here? And it's amazing, I have to say. So we're going to put just about 40 mils in this, and we're just going to mix it all up.
Fun part. Cool. Let me get another question going before. So what are the 3 apps on your phone that you couldn't live without?
Instagram. Instagram is my main marketing tool. Well, I'll probably have to say Instagram/TikTok. I'm going to have to go into there at some stage. My emails, absolutely. That's where I do most of my business. And my alarm.
Your alarm. Are you, from all these years of sort of waking up early, do you just wake up early, or phone that you couldn't live without?
Instagram. Instagram.
Perfect. You win.
From all these years of sort of waking up early, do you just wake up early, or?
No, so I used to, when I was delivering to all the shops, I used to be able to do it. Like just get up and it would just be like, bang, right. I'm tired, but like give me 10 minutes and I'm like firing on all cylinders. Now it's a lot harder. Just taking my foot off the gas a little bit and changing the way we do the business is a lot harder. There we go. That's the consistency we're looking for.
Okay, mine don't quite look like yours.
It's all right. More or less there.
Cool. So what keeps you up at night then?
Wow. Probably Instagram. I'm not really worrying about anything too tough. Because I'm mashed. So I'm like usually full on days, you know.
And bedtime for you now is like sort of what time? And if you're up at, what time are you up? 4?
I'm up now. I don't have to get up till like, I could get up at 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then, like in the school holidays, I have been getting up at 8. I'm just gonna grease these pans. So yeah, usually midnight.
Okay.
I'm in bed by midnight.
That's good.
Just because I procrastinate a lot in the evenings, everything just slows down. That's perfect.
I know, sort of thinking, I'm one of those people, I have to go to bed like ridiculously tired. Okay. So otherwise I just start, like yesterday, I went to bed early. Like 12 o'clock's kind of early for me to go to bed. And I stayed up probably till about 2, just thinking about stuff and writing stuff down.
Yeah, I'm more, I could sleep anywhere. I've fallen asleep standing up.
Is it?
Yeah, on the train coming home once, that was mad.
Did you miss your stop?
No, it's right. My legs kept buckling. The train was packed. So I was standing near the door, just leaning. I started falling asleep. And the thing is, I wasn't even that tired. Like sometimes when you sit down, sometimes you're dead. Like I'm not even doing this. I'm just like that. My head is just like, it's been snapped. And then you wake up just before your stop, oddly enough. But this time I was standing up, falling asleep. I remember my legs kept buckling like that. I was like, bro, like, get a grip, man. You cannot drop over on this train. But yeah, I could sleep anywhere. But I'm more got into the bad habit of just like scrolling just before I go to bed, checking comments, like replying to people. So it's like work. And then you just get sucked in and you just see something. It's like, okay, that looks interesting. Let's trying to turn the volume down because Mrs. is asleep next to you.
So how do you like just chill then? What is your go-to?
So chill time, like I do like a football camp now on a Saturday. So that's forcing me to get out of the house and we can now, which is good. So I do that with my son, so like kids my son's age, which is amazing. It's been really, really good. And FIFA, that's it. If I can get FIFA, a game of FIFA in, then I'm good. Or if I can watch match of the day, just the highlights, I'm good. That's all I need.
What team do you support then?
I don't, which is good. I was just taking it out. I mean, if any, would probably be Arsenal, who probably embarrassed to admit at this time they're doing terrible. But yeah, I just like watching good football. I love watching the good football matches.
Are you good at FIFA?
I'm all right. I'm probably not. I just play the career mode, so I don't go online or anything like that. So this is like a sneaky little hack, actually. This has come from baking at midnight and 2 in the morning and stuff and not having someone to hold the bag open for you. So you just put it in, tuck it over as you've done, and then it means it's just there. You can just pour this in now and it will all fit. You don't have to worry about it spilling over.
If you measured right, which...
Yeah, if you measure right. I was checking though, you doing okay, man? You were doing okay. So we've got more than we need.
So I did quite a bit of cooking at home.
Oh, you're fine, man. You're going on like, yeah.
And because I started doing that whole keto stuff.
Okay.
Oh, mate. Trying to make like keto donuts.
Oh, really? Tastes like earth.
Yeah, well, they don't taste like your donuts, that's for sure.
So I grab it in between these 2 fingers. Just pinch it and then twist it. Twist this. So hold your hand still and twist that. That's it. And then you can spin it out and hold it up like this. Grab the bottom, that's it. Don't worry, you're good. And it's gonna come out quite fast. So this is your one here. So I'll do mine first. But honestly, this is quite fast. You just turn it over, let it fall out. You don't really have to squeeze, just squeeze a little bit at the top. And then you can sort of pipe it round. Just want to fit it up to the top of the outside line of the circle. That's brilliant, Asher. That's brilliant. I think it looks exactly the same. Oh my God! Nobody's gonna know. They're gonna know. No, trust me, they're not gonna know. How would they know?
I'm gonna swap the pans over.
That's good. Just go over that. Keep going over that. One more time, and you're there. That's it.
That one again, or?
No, that's good. That's it. That's it. Just go over it one more time. So you could, and the next one, just go slower. Just let it fall out and fill it up. So just stay there, stay there, stay there. And that's it. That will give you your line. There you go. Just hold it. Just let it fall out. Give it a little squeeze at the top. Oh, dripping there. That's perfect.
I feel like I'm at school again and I've got the teacher looking over me.
Breathing. Oh, it's going. Maybe feel that one a little bit. Listen, you've got a job, you know?
Yeah?
If you want a job, you got a job.
Sounds good.
Okay, and then just tip it up. We can just...
Don't get a close up on that.
I think you've done good. That is really good. because they're gonna spread when they bake anyway. So yeah, you're fine. So we'll just get them in the oven. So as I say, normally we let the dough rest. I leave it overnight. That's always ideal. If you can leave it for an hour, that's good. But we'll, for the purposes of today, we'll get them in now. That's just the ideal. I'm gonna spin them round halfway through baking. Stuff that